Physical therapy people, it is Dr. Alex. I am here today to give you another video. This one we're going to be figuring out how to get our North Carolina physical therapy license. So here on the main website, it seems pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We just need to do 1, application, 2, FBI criminal background check. So we're going to go through all the steps through that. So this is kind of a little bit more of a breakdown. Create a login, choose the right application, fill out your application, upload your photo and documents, make your payment, do the FBI background check, and download the documents that you need. So reminder, you want a passport style photo for all of that, school information, military or ID or other proofs of service, examination information if you already passed the NBTE, and your social security number. So first thing we're going to do, you say I have understand and read, and we're going to get ourselves an account created. So just go ahead and fill out this information right here. And once you fill it out, you're going to hit create account. It's going to send an email to you, and you're going to have to log in or just verify that email. And let's go and look at that after we verify. Excellent. After we are verified, it's going to ask you what type of license you're applying for. Of course, we're going to say physical therapist and hit next. And then where were you trained, US or foreign? Continue here. If you are exam, out of state exam, or endorsement. So each of these, you can see right now, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to go through the endorsement method because that's the one I am currently doing. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with this. So next we have military. If you are a military member or a spouse of a veteran or spouse of a military member themselves, the North Carolina board will actually accelerate your process if you are one of these things. So you can say yes or no. For me, it is a no. And now you're just going to be filling out some personal information, just going through this, Fsbpt ID, your title, name, everything like that. We'll fill this out and move on. Next page, we're going to be looking at that personal information. So you'll type in social security number, gender, birth state, or country, and then date of birth. Next, you're just going to type in your school info. You just start typing in what school you went to. It'll pop up from the list, when your start date was, completion date, and your degree, which currently everyone should be a DPT. So on this page, you're going to have to put in professional license. You have to list every single state that you've been licensed in for physical therapy. So you're just going to go ahead and put in the state, license number, date of original licensure, how, by exam or endorsement, or exam in another state. And then finally, is license current, yes or no? And then after you add that, you're going to have to add it again and again and again, depending on how many you have. Next page here, you're going to put in the expected professional employment. So if you know when you expect to start, the place, and your supervisor. If you don't know, you should just be able to skip right to the next page here. Next, you're going to be uploading a photo. This is your passport style photo within the last 6 months. And then these are the specifications. You just need to make it look nice and professional. Make sure you have a clear line of your sight or of your face, and then just go ahead and upload it right here. So after you upload your photo, we're going to move on to some important questions here, like have you ever used a last name other than the one on the first page of the application? If you say yes, it's going to give you a little drop box here to put in all the other names. If you say no, probably like most people have, it goes away. So next, if you're an exam or exam by another state applicant, which state did you take the NPTE in? You're going to put that information in. Did you receive your PT degree outside the US? No. Have you ever taken the physical therapy license examination? Yes, we have. And then these three are, have you been denied the privilege of taking the exam? Has disciplinary action happened? Has drug or alcohol ever affected your professional competence? These three should be no. I guess everything should be no, except for number 4, yes. Have you ever taken the physical therapy license exam? And let's go to the next page to continue on with these. Oh, you have to type in NA right here. And now it'll let you go on to the next page. So continuing with these questions, have you ever been convicted violating any narcotic or substance abuse? It should be no. Ever been convicted of a felony? Should be no. Have you ever committed act of malpractice, negligence, incompetence? Should be no. Have you ever had any other incompetence or insanity? That also should be no. And we'll move on to the final page. Page is talking about employee misclassification. Basically, reading the first sentence, it's a worker who's defined as an employee shall be treated as an employee unless they're an independent contractor. I guess there's a couple ways that some people in North Carolina are using this to avoid tax liabilities. So most likely this is not you. Just say that you have read this after you've read it. And have you been investigated for misclassification? No. You're going to hit no and go ahead and hit next. And final page right here, you could say, by checking this box, I am ready to submit everything. And then you're going to click finish right here at the bottom. So before you hit finish, you cannot go back after this. You hit finish right here. It's going to submit your application and everything. It's recorded and locked, and you are not able to reopen it. The only way you can reopen it is by emailing the PT board to get it reopened. I accidentally submitted it by accident earlier. So here's a quick little breakdown of what our current costs are going to be: the application fee, the CBC fee, the reimbursement credit card processing costs, total of $195. And this is not including the fingerprint costs. I think this may be here, but we'll see in just a few at the end. So we're going to pay by credit card, and then we'll move on to the next step. Our application is now recorded, and it is now locked. So here's a quick breakdown of our total fees right here. $195 is what it's going to cost right here, but we will still we'll still have to get the fingerprints and ship those out as well. So we'll do a total cost breakdown right at the end. But first, we're going to click on Pay by Credit Card. Now that we're in the Pay by Credit Card, you're just going to put in billing name, address, phone number, credit card information, and submit that here. So now that you have paid, you'll get your receipt, and then we're going to come down to and hit Next Steps right here. Paid, you're now registered as an applicant, and we're going to go and get additional documentation details. So here are additional things that are required. Here's the FBI federal background check. And you can do it looking through these processes here, and then additional required references that's going to be required. So these are pretty self-explanatory, and let's break both of these down individually. So now that we've paid, we've got these extra documents that are required. So the fingerprints from the background check and 2 character references that both need to be submitted. So we're also going to need the NPTE score information, license verification from 1 active license, official school transcripts, and completing the jurisprudence exam. So let's go ahead and break down the FBI first. For looking at all these requirement documents here, the first one, AI form, you want to download that. The release of information form, you're going to download one or the other depending upon if you're going to be doing your live scan in North Carolina, you're going to do the ERI. But if you're just going to be outside of North Carolina or not doing a live scan in North Carolina, you're going to download the ARI. And then fingerprint card, you could download these just for reference, but you're not going to be submitting these. So let's look at the applicant information form real quick. So this form is just filling out your information here, first name, last name, pretty self-explanatory. If you do not have an employer and address, you could just leave this blank. And I'll go over some speculations with that too in just a minute, but pretty self-explanatory. Fill this out, bring this with you when you go get fingerprinted, because not only are they going to use this information to fill out your fingerprint card, but you're also going to send this card when you ship your card out. Is the ERI form, the electronic release of information form. You're only filling this out if you are doing it within the state of North Carolina. So just got a signature, printed name, and then they're going to sign whenever they take your fingerprints down here. And it's going to be mailed to the agency as well. RI, which is the authority release for information. This you're only downloading and filling out if you are filling out a FBI fingerprint 285 card. So you're just going to go and fill that out, sign your signature, sign your name again, and then again when you're shipping everything out, you're going to be shipping it out to the address here below with this as the headline. Fingerprint card FAQ, it basically is just explaining all the things you need to do. Pretty straightforward process, what the mandatory fields are, what you must indicate, and things like that. So just reading through this, making sure you have your place of birth and the date of birth is there. The place of birth is going to be the state that you were born in, unless you're born not in the United States, then you're going to put that up in here as well. So more mandatory fields and things like that. Most likely when you get fingerprinted, they're going to walk you through this process anyway, but this can be just a good thing to bring just to assist with whoever is working you through that process. And last is the fingerprint card template. They're just showing you what your card should look like and the additional information, specifically the employer address and the reasons for being fingerprinted. You're going to want to fill these in exactly like they have right here. And so after looking through some of these forms, downloading some of those forms, filling them out, printing them off, fingerprint process, live scan submission. So if you are in North Carolina, you're going to go and click this, find a location, and get everything set up. If you are not, if you're going to be doing a fingerprint card, if you're out of state or you're in North Carolina, but you don't want to do a live scan or too far away, you can take all of the documents, specifically the AI, the ARI form, and then have these either digitally available or you could print them off as well to local law enforcement agencies or private businesses like UPS, Identigo, things like that. Everyone will help you get that information on down on the cards and get the cards together. I did UPS just because that was the only thing in the local area that did it, and we shipped them out immediately right from there. Once the fingerprinting is completed, if you did the live scan, your ERI is going to be uploaded right here. If not, if you're mailing, you're going to do the ARI and the fingerprint card to this address right here, which is the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. So if you need any additional information, feel free to click this down here. It'll give more questions and answers and things like that. But that should be everything that you need to know for fingerprinting. Let's move on to the final required documents and look at character references. So character references are actually pretty straightforward. You're just going to put in first name, last name, email, and hit save. It's going to send it to all of your references. And you need at least 2 references. You may submit up to 4 names. The character references must be more than a year. They can't be a spouse or relative. So just submit your references. Down at the bottom of the list here, you're gonna have everyone's name that you've submitted and what their status is, if they filled it out or not. Under action, it'll say submit to a new resubmit the email if they have not answered it yet or they can't find the email themselves. So that's all you need for that. Send your NPTE scores to any state. You're going to go into the link below in the description or go to pt.fsbpt.net. You're going to enter your FSBPT ID and password. Go ahead and log in. After you're signed in, you're going to go down to the Services tab, and you're going to see the little paper airplane that says Score Transferred to State. You'll just click on this and just go through the steps. It's pretty self-explanatory, filling out personal information at one point they're going to ask you which state you want to send it to, and you'll just send it to the state that you desire. So license verification for one active license. Whatever state that is, you're going to go and submit that. Let's go and open up this file though and just look at it real quick. So one unique thing about this is all license verification letters have to be sent directly by mail to this address. But there's a certain number of states that you can have a different option. If your active license in Colorado, which I do have one in Colorado, you can just email these guys and they're going to request the information and download it. If your active license is in Indiana or Pennsylvania, please complete their specific processes, which I have already done a video on Pennsylvania because I also have my license in that state. But I'm probably going to opt to do the Colorado one just because I think that's going to be a little bit faster and it's going to be free for me. The fourth thing that you need down here is your official school transcripts with the date, degree, conferred sent directly from the educational institution. Easiest way to do this is just send what school or whatever school you went to for your graduate degree. Just type in so-and-so university transcripts. And they usually pop up with a website. Your official school will pop up with a website, which you can just kind of click through and go through that information. And it should be pretty good. When in doubt, if you don't know what's going on, always you could just reach out to the school, call the school, and they can usually send you to someone who can help you through those steps or through that process. And the very last thing is the jurisprudence exam. So you have to complete jurisprudence exercise 1. I think there's 3 exercises, but all you have to do is complete the first one. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, here it is right here. You're just going to go ahead and click on this to get started. Before you start the exercise, you want to download or open up these 3 different things and make sure that they're open on your computer, because you should be able to use these as references to complete your jurisprudence. And sometimes they'll want citations as well, so you'll definitely need these for those citations. If you want to take a couple of sample questions before taking the actual exam itself, it should be just right on here. And then feel free to take the other ones too. They should be helpful, but the first one is the only thing that's required. And then you can also see your history on that. There's no fee for the exam, and you get about 1 hour, and it's about 25 questions for each one. Going back to this page here, after you have submitted everything, you're just going to click on your application status just to kind of see what's happening there. And you'll see a digital update. You can always email them for a more in-depth update if something is off with any paperwork that you sent in, whether that be transcripts or other things like that. They'll go ahead and update you on that information. So that should be everything. After all of that, it should take a couple of weeks depending on how long your fingerprints took to get sent in and processed and things like that. You can sometimes email them and they'll usually fast track the process, especially if you have a deadline coming up. If you want to be in North Carolina by a certain time, if you give them an email, sometimes they bump you up and prioritize you just a little bit. But next we'll go through just the final breakdown and costs and things like that. So the final breakdown for everything for North Carolina, the application fee is about $95. The fingerprints are $56.75. The Fsbpt is $92, and the transcripts are $290. So the fingerprints, that includes getting my fingerprints down and shipping them out. Granted, right now I'm in Alaska, so this price is just a little bit higher than most people's should be, but depending on what you do, where you go, that might be just a little bit cheaper. So $346 is the total costs that I'm going to be paying for North Carolina. The good thing is majority of that's going to be covered as you get a new job. You could usually build it into like a travel contract if you're doing some travel and things like that. So yeah, everything should be good there. This is basically it for the North Carolina thing here. Yeah, any other costs like the jurisprudence, those things are free and things like that. So I think that's all. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this video, and yeah, I hope you have good luck with your North Carolina license. Right now, I think it's somewhere between, it's usually like a 4 to 6 week process to be able to get everything together. But those fingerprints, sometimes they can take just a little bit longer. So make sure you get that in early, because it says sometimes they can take up to 9 weeks, but I think it should be less than that. But yeah, thank you guys again for listening to the channel, and God bless.